the biggest piece about the insights into your feelings is that if you are at a 10 because you don't know you don't know what choice to make, or you're feeling stuck, or you're feeling overwhelmed, or you've got all this crazy chaos all around you, it's okay. So that's the very first piece, is to me, when we can
It's an insight.
That, yes.
It's an awareness. It's an insight.
Awareness to just say. So here's an example. I had a client reach out just this morning, actually, and she had finished a really uplifting event, which really elevated her sense of self-empowerment, self-worth, confidence. She's feeling like, yes.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest, and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Oh, welcome! Yay, yay! This is Debz and Moira with our deliciously motivated mindset conversations. Hi, Moira.
Hello, dear Deb. How are you?
I'm fabulous, and hello, listeners. And I can't say watchers because there's no one watching unless you're watching a blank screen. So, hello, people. Hello, humans.
Well, they could be watching us in their mind's eye and imagining the quirky corniness that we get up to,
Oh my God, yeah. Well, actually, today's the first day I've noticed that Moira's not wearing a cardigan or a jumper or something. So just so you can imagine that. And I'm in a very flowery dress.
Beautiful dress.
It's got purple in it.
Purple. Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, hang on, Moira's not even wearing purple today.
I'm not even wearing purple.
I've got my red on though. Yeah. She's green. Anyway, that's enough about us. So now you can visualize us. Okay.
just so you know. Setting the stage for you.
Yeah, that's the one. Oh, today. Wow, we've got a great one today, which we say every time, but I think they actually get better each time. I'd like to think they do.
I think so.
You better
Depends
tell us
on where
listeners.
You're at, of course, right?
Yeah, definitely. But before we get into them, our intention of doing these was just to give you some awareness to what goes on around you, how to manage your emotions, tips on how to manage your emotions, and just really just how to regulate your life.
Yeah.
Would be a simple, there's my elevator pitch.
That's a good elevator pitch. I like it. And I agree with you.
Okay, great. Phew, that's a relief. So before we get into it, what we do each time is we rate ourselves. And when we rate ourselves on a scale of 0 to 10, just to see where our emotion sits. And where we start the call, halfway through, you're welcome to rate yourself. And at the end, but also we encourage people to do this throughout the day, just to see when chaos hits, what's actually going on, if there's a particular reason for it.
Yeah, so like if you need some help or something, right?
Yeah, you can blame. You can blame, oh, that's why I'm a 6 instead of a 0. Or that's why. It actually just, for me, when we first started doing this, it just allowed me to go, oh, that's why. And then I could just allow that to be that. No wonder that happens. Then no wonder. And then it gives you a way to actually shift your energy from that. It's just another level of accountability, really.
And awareness.
Yeah. So 0 being 0 for Zen, and 10 being 10 for...
10 being, oh my God.
Oh my God.
I can't do this.
Oh my God, the puppy's peed on me again. I'm done. I can't cope with anything. No sleep. 10 being that person. Chaos. Put your head in the... the hairdryer and everything's frazzled. Where would you be, Moira, on your scale of 0 to 10 right now?
Right now, well, actually, right now I'm at a 0. But I also, and we started doing this a wee while ago about saying, where are we just in our own selves, but then where are we in regard to the topic? And I put myself at a 2 on that one.
Okay.
How about you?
I would say I'm a 1 because I'm a little bit tired. I've got a new puppy in the house.
Yes.
Yep.
Gorgeous.
So I'm a little bit tired with the puppy that we can't name yet because every name just doesn't seem right, even though I quite like Brutus or Bruno
or Max.
Or Max, yeah, or Bo. But anyway, that's okay. And Ben's completely put out, the other dog. So I'm a little bit tired on those things. So I would say I'm a 1. But the topic, oh my gosh, when Moira told me the topic, I got a little bit excited. I went, oh, this is a nice one. This is a lovely one, which could mean flipping anything. So I'm going to say a 2 on the topic as well.
Good.
Excuse me, as I just muted that just in time for my big sneeze.
Yes.
So because of course you can't see that, people. So I'm a 2 on the topic and a 1, and Moira's a 2 on the topic and a 0. So today's topic is insights into your feelings. And when I think of this, I just go, oh, this is going to be beautiful. But in reality, this may not have to be beautiful, because insight into your feelings, if you're sitting in a 10,
yeah,
those feelings are pretty right. But they are.
But yeah, but this is the thing about the biggest piece about the insights into your feelings is that if you are at a 10 because you don't know what choice to make, or you're feeling stuck, or you're feeling overwhelmed, or you've got all this crazy chaos all around you, it's okay. So that's the very first piece, is to me, when we can,
it's an insight.
That, yes,
it's an awareness. It's an insight
to just say. So here's an example. I had a client reach out just this morning, actually, and she had finished a really uplifting event, which really elevated her sense of self-empowerment, self-worth, confidence. She's feeling like, yes, I can take on the world. And then something happened, and she went back into her, oh, I screwed up, or this isn't okay, or so her self-worth and self-empowerment dropped.
And how quick did that take?
Oh gosh, it was like a day.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and this is what was my invitation to her, was keep breathing. Just keep breathing. Put your hand over your heart. Because part of us is we punish ourselves. It's like, well, what's wrong with me? Look, I just did this event, or I just did this course, and I did this. so therefore I'm not supposed to feel this anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't feel high because I'm going to get low.
Or I can't feel, because I've done this work to elevate myself, and then I come into a situation where I get a taste, or I step back into that feeling of unworthiness or self-criticism or beating myself up. It's okay. You're never actually going to get rid of them. Because that's the key piece about your feelings, is we are emotional beings, and we're going to keep coming up and down and in and out of them, right?
Absolutely. And I think, I love the first part of our 4 insights into your feelings. The first one is totally insights.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. It's just an insight. You can decide what to do with it or not do with it, but it's just an insight to make you go, oh, I get this.
Just,
I can see this.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you can decide how you want to do it or whatever. But if you don't have those insights and you're oblivious, you're on the crazy train. I don't mean crazy train, but you're on that train that can turn at any time. So
into chaos and more and more overwhelmed. But you're quite right. It's insight. So it's like, if I'm sitting in this feeling, what is this? What's the gift here? What's the gift here? What's the learning? What's the value? Because we created it, right?
Well, it's there for a reason to be aware of. If you choose not to look at it, so be it. But know that the more you don't look at things, or the more you don't have your eyes open, or you're oblivious and you sit in unawareness, that's when the chaos hits, and it hits full force. It hits much harder and faster than normal.
Absolutely. But don't you think that because you're saying if you have some insight into an emotion and you decide not to go into it or unpack it or pay it some respect.
I like that. Pay it some respect. I really like that.
It's actually been something that pretty much all my clients who have heard me say this in one way or another. I believe that every one of our emotions and feelings are demanding respect. And it's by just detaching from the crazy making thinking about it. It's just, nope, this is it. And so I'm going to sit here and I'll breathe and respect the fact that I am the being that's having the experience of this feeling. And then by doing that, it flows through you. But on the flip side, if you refuse to do that, because you can, we live in free choice, right? We don't have to do that. There is no rules here. So, but if you stuff them down, then they come back and bump you on the head.
They're little buggers if you stuff them down. They're like naughty little kids.
That's right.
In fact, worse.
Yes. They come screaming back and have a massive tantrum somehow.
Yep. And it stings. So I really like your pay your feelings respect, because it is definitely an acknowledgement, but it's actually acknowledgement on another level. Because I always say acknowledge it, see it, acknowledge it. But the respect is actually, okay, it just has a different feel to it, inside to your feelings. But now when you say that, like, that just has a different level of respect. It just has a different level of, and my body just went, oh yeah, you need to pay it respect. Even though I acknowledge it, I get it, acknowledge it is different to paying it as respect.
Yeah.
So even just that's a massive insight for me into my feelings of just going, okay, pay it respect. And then you just have that, just a different level of, I don't know, shoulders back, like, okay, yep, I get that.
Yeah. But you see, I think that now that you're reflecting that back, what I'm feeling is when we do that, we're realizing that everything that we're doing and experiencing is the right thing for us. And that we get to flow more, as opposed to, I have to do something. There's something wrong with me, so I have to figure this out and I have to do this. No, maybe we just have to respect, okay, right now I'm feeling a little bit frenetic. I've got this little thing going on, and maybe I can just acknowledge it and go walk in the grass or meditate or breathe or right.
Well, I know Dr. John DeMartini says everything's on the way, not in the way.
Yes, I like that a lot. You've said that before.
Yeah, and even just that goes, when chaos hits, and you can just go, okay, it's on the way. It's on the way. It's not in the way. It's on the way. And that just allows my brain to go, okay, keep going, keep going. And that's another insight into your feelings. It's on the way, not in the way. Instead of just seeing a massive roadblock, it's like, okay, I may not see how it's on the way, but I just have that trust, that knowing, that certainty, that insight, that respect that it's on the way allows another level of what's happening.
And self-acceptance that I am, it's like we are always on the way to where we're going. Because here's the thing, this is the other part of all that, is that I believe we are all going to get where we're going. Yeah. That's it. And so it's done, right? The destination's taken care of. We're getting there. But the analogy that I sometimes use is that when we have free will, we can say, okay, there's the destination. That's where I'm going. So I can go off the highway and go down the all these different scenic routes and down the alleyways and that sometimes we can get lost in that. But if we can always hold on to the fact that even if you did choose to go on a really big detour scenic route, that there's two things there. Number one, you're still going to get where you're going at some point. You are still going to do that. But number two, at any point you can say, okay, enough of this detouring and scenic route. I want to go back on that smooth highway. It's all about choice, but it's about choice and respecting your own ability to, at any point.
Well, you can turn left or right or whatever. You can do whatever you want. I was just, when you were telling me about that story just then about going one way, and all I kept thinking about was Rocky Horror Picture Show. Great example, people. The Rocky Horror Picture Show, how they turned one way and then the car broke down.
Right.
And then their whole world, Janet, Brad. Oh, what about Brad for a dog name?
Oh, there she's got the dog's name.
Brad. Okay, hang on. I'm just going to write that down. Distraction on the way. But even that, Janet and Brad, like their journey was one way and they went another way, and then their whole world just completely changed. But it was still part of being on the way. Yeah.
No, and that, because that is such a subtle thing that and that's what you said, that sometimes you might get into a feeling or a situation that you go, oh my God, how on earth can this relate to my journey or my destination? But even if nothing else, if all you can do is understand this is just part of my way, then it eases it up, right? Helps you get back into flow.
Well, it does, because the moment you can see it, the moment you can see it, or somebody explains something to you and you go, oh, I get that. But you might have read the same thing 3 times or heard it, saw it, siphoned it differently through your senses, and then someone says it and you go, oh, I get what they're saying now. You know how people say a joke and you're like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And you feel like you have to laugh. I don't. You feel like, oh, I should be laughing at this. Okay. And I don't get it. And everyone else laughs and you're like, okay. And so then you either go, do I laugh? Do I put myself out and laugh and hope that no one actually goes, oh, you got it, or something, or calls you on it? Or do you actually say, I don't get it? I will often just say, I don't get it, or I'll just switch off. Oh, I don't get that. And then they explain it to you and you're like, oh, I get that. Oh, I don't really find it that funny. Or, oh my God, that's so funny. And that's just another insight. Oh, I get it. So we all can see things differently.
Absolutely.
And hear things differently.
But I love that you brought that example up, because I can think of times where a joke's been shared and I don't get it. And like you, I won't laugh, and I'm kind of looking around at other people and I'll ask somebody. I've done this so many times. But
then they actually are laughing so much and you're like, it's not, I don't, like, that's not even funny.
No, but in this example was that this person's laughing so much, and I say, so what, can you explain it? What's so funny? And I don't know. That was the answer. I don't know. Everybody else is laughing. So everybody else is laughing. So this person's only laughing because you're supposed
Everyone
to
else
laugh.
is laughing.
And I am so not.
Oh my God.
I couldn't do that. And so it's so funny. All these people laughing, and they actually didn't know why they were laughing or what.
I love that. I love that you actually called them on it, because you were confused. You were like, okay, I've got it. This is obviously a real goodie. I've got to figure this one out. Oh my God, that's right. But that does happen. Well, there you go. Insight into your feelings. So that person's feelings was, I need to follow everybody else. I bet people are going to judge me. Yeah. Well, you're now judged, because you're now on a podcast throughout the world. And their name is Billy Bob, and I don't know if they're Billy Bob. That'd be funny. It's even more.
So here's the key piece in this. It's super important, I think, is that insights into your feelings is to tell the truth about your feeling. It's not about saying, oh, I have to feel like this because that person's telling me that they feel like this. And you think, oh, but I don't feel that. So that's what you need to lead with, right? Is what it is for you.
I think we sit in, the older I get, the more I'm not as attached to what people say or around me, or people say behind my back or to my face. But growing up, you are just, I find you're your own person until you get told off, right from even a young age. Don't do that, but I like doing that. Don't do that. In fact, we actually had the conversation at dinner last night. I said something, and my partner's parents said, "Oh gosh, you're so cheeky," or you're so straightforward and cheeky. And I was like, and I just went, yeah, that's what mum brought me to be up. Like mum and dad brought me up like that.
Yeah.
And my partner said, "Oh, I bet you they're regretting that." And I was like, yeah, probably since age 4, and it was just like, and then we actually talked about it later, and she sort of apologized and said, "Oh, I didn't mean it like that." And I said, "No, it was all done in jest, definitely. But my parents taught me to speak up, and you do speak your truth. And then you get to a point where you speak so truthful that people just go, "Oh, we can't handle that. Oh, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't do that." And then that's when you get squashed. So young children and old people are so, like, young children just don't know. They don't know that there's difference in certain things.
Rules or this.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Right from that to, and old people are just like, well, I'm going to die anyway.
Yeah.
So, whatever. It's going to say what I actually think about you right now. And, even though you've been my neighbor for 10 years, I'm actually just going to let you know I actually hate you. It's like, oh, okay, righty-ho. But we do sit with that. And so they don't hold back. And it's us who go, oh, we can't say that we're going to hurt other people's feelings. Or we can't say that because it's going to upset them. Or we can't say that because it's not fair on the other person. Or we don't know what they're dealing with or anything. So we just hold on to a lot.
Yes, but I think, so in this part, I think it is a good thing to be courteous.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't slice them.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, tell the truth about what you're feeling. You're not going to go around and be cantankerous and cranky. But the thing about the insights into your feelings is sometimes it's an amazing access to your intuition.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
Because I don't know about you, Deb, but I can think of times being in social settings or in an environment where I feel off, I feel unnerved, I feel a little bit nervous or a wee bit shaky. And it's oftentimes we might tend to just go, oh, it's, imagining something, or there's, picking up some weird stuff. But every single time that I've actually really paid attention to that, it's been proven to me that, there was going to be a big fight or an argument or some kind of negative energy that I choose not to be around. And so that feeling, the feeling comes as an advisor to you to say,
warning.
Yeah. But guidance. It's like your inner guidance to sort of say, yeah, just stay aware, stay present, and
I think you've got to be present. You have to be present to see that and hear that, because if you're not present, if you don't see the warnings, and you can say warnings, if you don't see the signs, the green flags, the red flags, the yellow flags, if you don't see the flags, like, you're not going to see them. And that is about being present. And the more present you are, the more you're going to listen to your intuition. You're going to see those insights, because if you're a bull in a china shop, Deborah, you're bull in a china shop, you actually do miss a whole lot of stuff beforehand. And then something hits you and you're like, well, how did I not see that? Right. And it's only when you're sitting present and still that you go, oh, that happened. Oh, that. Oh, wow, there was that. Oh, last time.
Yes.
And then it just opens your eyes. But the key, and I'm going to say the key from that is the moment you go, why didn't I see that? And then you see it, don't go, oh, and beat yourself up.
Yeah, no shame. There's not to be any shame here, for sure.
No, because you found out now, and this is the perfect time. If you found out earlier, yes, you could have saved money, or yes, you could have saved that broken bone, or yes, you could have saved whatever. But there's actually a bigger picture going on. So that whole shame, beating yourself up, there's no time for that. You actually just need to take that insight and heal whatever way forward.
Right. But that's the thing. And I like that you said that, because I think I came across something just recently that was talking about the propensity for all of us, especially in the Western world, capitalism, kind of got to get ahead, got to keep doing, got to, suffer pain. Personal development comes through pain and suffering and lessons. But do you know, it's equally, if not even more, through ease, calmness, peace, joy, happiness. So that's when I'm talking about this idea of respecting your emotions. We don't want to get stuck and say, oh, well, I only want to feel happy. I only want to feel ease and peace, because we're emotional beings. So we're going to feel moments of anger and helplessness and hopelessness.
Don't be delusional. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's to feel through them and recognize and accept the whole quotient. We're emotional beings, right?
Well, I think the thing is, the more you chase, my finger's going for quotations, the more you chase happiness, the more you're going to get the opposite to allow you to love, accept, nurture, appreciate, respect, the opposite. So the more you chase something, the more you're going to keep getting smacked and smacked and smacked until you can go, oh, okay, I can see that. Like the more we chase the light, the more we run away from the dark. And what happens? The dark hits us. But if you can acknowledge, I know. But if you can acknowledge the dark and the light in you, that's when you're going to be 100% more fulfilled.
There was something super important.
Yeah, there was something the other day, I only read partially, but it was just about, someone said God being the light and the devil being the dark. And it was actually on the news. It was an article and it was quite interesting. I wish I probably read it properly, but it was actually saying, why are we not acknowledging the devil? Why are we, and it was quite interesting that it actually hit the news, the TV news. Yeah, that it was just about particularly acknowledge the dark. And it was like, wow, this is pretty freaking big, because we all talk about, religious cults talk about God being the light, and then it's like, okay, and you've got to run from the devil. It's like, well, actually, but it was quite interesting. It was on the news. I'll actually go back and have another read of it. I can add it into another podcast, but I thought it was really good that it was telling you, acknowledge both, don't run from one, acknowledge both, which is exactly insights into your feelings.
It truly is. And that's the key piece that is so, so important, because it's in our experience that you wouldn't know what the light was if you didn't have the dark.
No.
And vice versa. So it's just, what? The dark is the absence of light, which, because I can say that, means I have the light. So it's by accepting, and this is the key piece about having your feelings.
Well, that's respecting your feelings, isn't it?
Respecting your feelings, absolutely. Respecting your feelings and accepting all aspects of you. All, even the pieces that, what, we all probably have a habit or a foible that we choose really not to share with the world. And that's okay. You don't have to share it, but you have to own it. It's yours. It's okay.
Yeah.
Right? With no shame.
Yeah, I was just going to say, with no shame, no guilt, just as is. And that's the big insight into your feelings, is that no shame and guilt with when you discover it.
Yes. Because it's by the sitting with it and breathing through it and having compassion for yourself with it, that it doesn't control you.
That's where the insights really come, when you're sitting present.
Yes. So hello, darkness, my old friend, right?
Oh my God, yeah, that was a great song.
It was.
Who was that? That was Cat Stevens, isn't it?
No, Simon and Garfunkel.
Simon and Garfunkel. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, we're not that age at all. Not that age. Yeah, so I love the insights into your feelings. I love how paying your feelings respect. I love how you can't run from those flags. You just have to accept, allow, love, nurture, respect, and move on. Because we know, because if you don't, if you have shame and guilt, or if you're trying to run from something, it's going to affect your, I'm going to say, bodily functions. It's going to affect your sleep. It's going to affect your eating pattern. It's going to affect your mood. It's going to affect those around you, because you're going to be in a 10 instead of a 0 when we rate ourselves at the start. And people just will only put up with you for so long. And I think they're the things to go, once you acknowledge it, there's definitely ways around it. So if once you've acknowledged that dark, what would you say, Moira, to acknowledging the dark and then going, okay, what do I do with it now? I can see I've done it. What do I do with it now?
Well, it depends on what it is, because you can shine the light of your own core on it, or you can like, I'm holding my hands up like a bubble around it.
Yeah.
So can I surround it with light?
Yeah.
And then by doing that, I think that by doing that, it's like accepting something. So let's say it's a negative habit. Let's say you smoke or
eat chocolate. Oh, whoops, that was very quick.
That was me. I did that. No.
It's something for breakfast, okay.
So just let's take that as an example, right? Some people might say, "Oh gosh, I'm terrible. I'm never going to lose weight, and this is unhealthy and bad for me, and I know better." But maybe you could just take a deep breath and see that, what triggers it, what makes you do it, and surround it with light. And what I think, and I do this for myself, it eases off the shame of it, and it gives you a wee bit of spaciousness from it. So I might not take the chocolate, or I don't smoke. I am actually an ex-smoker, but that it's like you can't shame yourself into saying, "Oh, that's bad. That's terrible. I'm not going to do that." So, no, I'm having this experience, and can I just be tender and kind enough to say, and you said that earlier in our conversation, is, are you going to do something about it or not?
Yeah.
And if you say no, I'm keeping this, it's okay.
So it's being okay with it.
Yeah.
Would be the thing. Be okay with what you're choosing. Your actions or words. Be okay with it, and you're the one who has to live with it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people don't want to see you destroyed for something that you've said or done to someone else. Well, deep down, I mean, there might be that little surface that person has to pay. I get that. But then deep down, they don't want to see other people hurt. Nobody wants to see anyone hurt or suffering. No one, no matter what they've done or not done. Nobody does. Our heart is actually, so our heart says we don't, but our mind has that little, they need to pay. Yes, absolutely. We've all got that in us, but in reality, they don't need to pay. They already have to pay for themselves. You hear about those people who have accidents, and and they come up to court, and they've had a horrific accident, and there's been a fatality to a family member that they've been driving or something, and then the judge just goes, or in New Zealand, the judge just goes, okay, you have to live with this for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sentence you for anything. That's exactly it. And that is just another way of going, you have to deal with what you've done or not done.
Right.
So you don't need someone else going, right, and now we're going to add on this. I don't know what your court system's like, but I mean, I have a real empathetic thing for our judges that make that decision, because even that's could be seen as immoral to some people.
I completely agree, because that is the thing about most of us, that if we've ever done something wrong that caused somebody else suffering or pain, we don't need to be told that we did something bad or wrong, because
No, you already know.
we already know, and we beat ourselves up relentlessly for having done something wrong, right? So it's by knowing that that's when you're saying about this a person saying, oh, they have to pay. What it's just a little reflection to that person too. It's like, no, you get busy healing yourself.
Yeah.
Like, because that to me is, oh, I'll feel better when that person pays the price. It's like, no, you won't.
Yeah, I just giggle at that because, I think about people having label infidelity in a relationship, and I'm just going to say the standard male female. Okay, just the standard male female. That's all. And I'm going to say that the male cheated. The male dabbled outside the relationship, and the female's like, he will pay. He needs to suffer. He needs this because I've suffered for so many years. He's just gone, and just like, no, my God, do you not think, you may look like he's having the most amazing time, but he just doesn't cry to your face. He doesn't tell you, because he's so macho, he doesn't want to say that I'm broken and I shouldn't have done what I did or whatever we needed to get back. So how do you, don't look at them and go, you need to pay. Look at them and just go, you know what? They have to live with what they've done. They have to live with whatever decision they're making from back then to now and moving forward. So you have to put your own oxygen mask on. You've got to look at yourself. What can you do without shooting bow and arrows? Because it's not going to help anyone.
Well, it's not. But again, doesn't this bring you back to do your own work, heal you? So I get that being betrayed it hurts. So then you got to forgive and love you, and you don't have to stay in that relationship if it doesn't suit you.
Absolutely. Well, it's all you. It's all you call the shots. If you stay because of children, or don't stay because of children, stay because of they've got money or no money or whatever. Like, this is your choice that you have to sleep at night with your decisions.
And that's the key piece. The key word you just said, it's choice. It's always choice. We always have choice.
Yeah. Well, even choice, insight into your feelings. Choice. That's it. Like, there's another little golden nugget that's been thrown out there is choice. You can choose what you do. Yeah. And you can choose to take action on it, or you can choose not to take action right now. Yeah. You're just going to sit present and feel and decide from there. Like, that alone is still a gift. Yeah.
Yeah. So the other part about these kind of feelings is, what can you use the feeling for? Because I think about times that I've had conversations with people who have anger or are resentful. And my invitation is, can you turn that into the fuel to take action for your right next best step?
Yeah.
And so to me, anger is a volatile energy. It's an emotion that, it's like, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to do something. I'm going to change. I'm going to change my choices. I'm going to make something shift, take on a new habit. Stop this habit, take that on, do this. So and that releases that feeling. So that's another insight, it's like the
guilty of fire.
Wisdom. It's the wisdom of you speaking. So now work with it. Work with it.
Yeah. I think that's really important, because your insights into your feelings, once you've got them, you can choose.
Absolutely.
That's it. You can choose what, how, when, or whatever. But you've just got to be, it's wise to be aware of those insights.
Absolutely.
Don't beat yourself up that you've just missed the last 3 years of insights right here, right now. You're on that journey. Yeah. You're on the Braddon.
The past is done. You're here. Here.
Yeah. You're on the Rocky Horror journey right now. Yeah.
So talking about this choice is a nice way to wrap up this conversation and invite us all back into looking at where our numbers are on that scale of 0 to 10.
That's right. I forget that.
So I think you were a 1 in yourself and a 2 on the topic.
I'm definitely a 0. I feel a 0. And the topic, I've enjoyed today. I thought it would be a real lovely, beautiful little, a love bubble. I don't feel there's been a love bubble. So I'm going to say a 0 because I definitely fulfilled things. I had an expectation I was going to be wrapped in a love bubble, and I wasn't.
Well, we'll energetically, everybody that's listening to us, we have to energetically send a big love bubble around Deb. There you go.
Thank you.
And so, like we've said to you before, dear listeners.
What about you?
Oh, I'm a 0.
Don't think you're getting out of it.
I was 0. Well, I was a 0 to start with, and I was a 2
right.
on the topic. I love talking about feelings, and so I feel like we kind of took it apart and really opened that up about the guidance that's available for us when we get the insight into our feelings. So yeah, I'm going to say 0. But what I was going to say to our dear listeners is, we really do encourage you. We'd love to hear from you, where you were at the beginning and where you are now, but also encourage you to use it as a self-management, self-awareness building tool throughout your day. Like, just pause every so often, maybe even set a timer if you need to just take a deep breath, hand over your heart. How am I feeling? Where am I at?
What are your insights? Yeah, what are your insights into this podcast, people?
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I've enjoyed this. This has been a good conversation, I thought.
Thank you so much, Moira. Thank you, listeners.
Thank you. Thanks, Deb. Thank you, listeners.
Thanks for the topic.
Yeah. We will talk to you again next time. Bye.
Thanks.